OpenAI is accusing DeepSeek of outright stealing their technology. Yes, stealing, as it took it without permission. And it's got the entire tech world clutching its virtual pearls. Let's set the stage. For those who've been hibernating in a cave for the past few months, here's how the DeepSeek saga began. A Chinese hedge fund allegedly poured its resources and talent into building a top-tier AI reasoning model. The twist? They spent a mere $5.5 million on training it. Now, $5.5 million is nothing to sneeze at. But by big tech standards, where training a large language model can run you hundreds of millions or even billions, it's practically pocket change. DeepSeek didn't just stop at building something impressive. They gave the entire internet a 100% discount code to test drive their new model. That's right, for a limited time, you could sample the cutting-edge capabilities of DeepSeek with zero out-of-pocket cost. While that sounds great for us everyday users, it reportedly made higher-ups at some of the biggest AI companies break into a cold sweat. After all, OpenAI has long maintained that scaling up AI to superhuman levels is immensely expensive. Part of the reason it operates in close partnership with Microsoft, with an eye on advanced data centers, specialized chips, and untold amounts of server horsepower. Suddenly, the narrative that AI is too big, too expensive, and too complex for smaller players started to look shaky. DeepSeek was marketing itself as a ragtag underdog, capable of running with the top dogs, and the public was paying attention. Even worse for the major players, DeepSeek's open access approach made them wildly popular in developer circles almost overnight. So where does OpenAI's accusation come in? Allegedly, DeepSeek engaged in a practice called distillation, which is a fancy way of saying they took outputs from a powerful, expensive AI model, fed them to a smaller, more efficient model, and effectively transferred the large model's knowledge. Under the hood, distillation can produce results that rival the original AI's performance, but without the same training costs and computational overhead. It's like copying the answers from the smartest kid in class and teaching another kid those exact answers, so that second kid can pass the test just as easily. Here's the catch. If you're just scraping openly available internet data that might include quotes from ChatGPT, that's one thing. But if you're systematically pulling data directly from OpenAI's API to train your own commercial competitor, that's a violation of OpenAI's terms of service. OpenAI, with support from Microsoft, insists that it has evidence, perhaps logs from Microsoft's cloud servers, of someone in China extracting large volumes of data from OpenAI's systems. They believe these actions are tied to DeepSeek. Now, it's important to note that no one has publicly released bulletproof evidence. The rumors hinge on screenshots and secondhand accounts. In one example, you might see a DeepSeek-generated answer that looks suspiciously identical to ChatGPT's well-known responses. But is that truly proof of wrongdoing? Or could it just be that both models learned similar patterns from the vast text available online? If you can't help but notice the irony, you're not alone. Let's not forget that OpenAI itself has been under fire for scraping mountains of data, including copyrighted material. High-profile authors like George R.R. Martin has sued, and tech magnates like Elon Musk have complained that OpenAI ingested social media content without explicit permission. OpenAI's approach has often been, do first, apologize later. Many companies in Silicon Valley have followed a similar pattern in their early days. Uber and Airbnb, for instance, famously butted heads with local laws and community rules before they reached critical mass and became unstoppable forces. Now it seems that OpenAI has mostly dodged serious legal repercussions, or at least managed them so far. So when they call out DeepSeek for doing something shady, observers can't help but point out, didn't OpenAI do something similar to start with? In the midst of this OpenAI versus DeepSeek drama, more Chinese AI projects have burst onto the scene. Alibaba just introduced a new version of their Qwen model, called Qwen 2.5 Max, and it apparently trounces competitors like DeepSeek, Claude, and even the vaunted GPT-4 on certain benchmarks. Then, a separate newcomer known as Kim 1.5 staked its claim, saying it can outperform OpenAI's GPT as well. It feels like China versus China at this point, with each entity trying to outdo the other. Meanwhile, the US is looking over its shoulder, worried it might lose its edge in the AI race. And if you glance across the Atlantic, the European Union is often tied up in regulatory frameworks that, while important, sometimes take them out of the day-to-day scuffle of building the next big thing. This intense jockeying for AI dominance underscores the bigger picture. As more skilled engineers gain access to advanced hardware and open-source code, the barrier to entering AI's top tier grows smaller every day. One detail that has the tech community buzzing: is DeepSeek's supposed 10 times efficiency gain over its rivals. How'd they do it? According to reports, they bypassed NVIDIA's proprietary CUDA platform for GPU programming, opting instead to write instructions at a far lower level. For non-engineers, it's like building a massive website entirely in assembly language, a mind-blowing amount of work, but also a way to squeeze out every bit of performance from the hardware. If these rumors are accurate, then DeepSeek's engineering talent is working on a different playing field from the average AI startup that just uses off-the-shelf frameworks. Of course, that raises the question, if they're this good, why would they need to steal anything from OpenAI? The conspiracy theorists among us might say that even the best engineers want shortcuts, and the fastest shortcut to building a human competitive AI is to grab knowledge from an existing, well-tuned model. Another sticking point for DeepSeek's critics is its approach to user content. Folks complain that DeepSeek's model imposes heavy-handed censorship, potentially limiting the depth or breadth of topics you can explore. Then there's the privacy angle. When you use the web-based version of DeepSeek, your prompts and keystrokes might be sent to servers in China. Privacy hawks argue that if you care about data security, you should think twice before feeding your personal or sensitive information into any third-party AI system. Realistically, once your data is on the internet, it's out of your control, whether the servers are in California, Beijing, or Timbuktu. That said, DeepSeek does allow for local deployment under certain conditions, meaning you can theoretically run their model on your own machine if you have the computing muscle for it. This local option offers a better sense of privacy, but it's definitely not as convenient or quick as using their cloud service. If you're tuning in right now and asking, why does any of this matter to me? The answer lies in open source. Open source models are becoming more and more capable, rivaling closed source models like those from OpenAI in many tasks. This is game-changing because it democratizes AI development, allowing small startups, solo developers, and even curious hobbyists to build powerful products without paying a king's ransom. DeepSeek, in many ways, represents the front line of this revolution, even if the company itself isn't purely altruistic. By undercutting big tech's narrative of high costs and near-impossible barriers to entry, they shine a spotlight on the fact that AI can be done more cheaply and more openly than we once believed. This is why the allegations against DeepSeek are so explosive. If they genuinely built everything from the ground up, that's a huge step forward for open-source AI. If, however, they just piggybacked on OpenAI's work behind the scenes, then it's more about them skirting the rules than about a real open-source success story. Some people go so far as to claim that DeepSeek might be an inside job created by OpenAI itself, a cunning ploy to stir up interest, feign competition, and then expose the importance of abiding by OpenAI's licensing and terms. While that sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood script, we can't ignore how sensational the entire episode has been. Others think that if DeepSeek did indeed scrape outputs from ChatGPT, it's just karmic payback. After all, they reason, OpenAI scraped data from countless websites, books, and other sources. Isn't it fair play? Of course, from a legal standpoint, that argument won't hold up in court if the evidence shows DeepSeek broke specific terms of service. But from a moral or philosophical standpoint, it fuels the pot calling the kettle black narrative. What do you think about this? Comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of these kinds of videos. Thanks for watching.